Happy New Year, Ruskin Enjoyers. I hope you're doing all right. So as you can see right here, it's very late, but it was New Year's, so whatever. I'm still awake and I have some time to talk. So what we're here to talk about today is post-Christmas, how we are going to behave at this current point. Because I'm sure many of you are questioning, should I start selling my Ruskins now? As you can see over here, we've got plenty of Ruskins currently on the front page. But the main question has been, do I sell now or do I need to wait for a specific date? I'm going to try my best to explain as much as I can to you in regards to trying to give you a good idea in how you might want to approach these things. But it's purely up to you, and it's also based on a very specific factor. How many skins do you actually have? That is the honest answer. So basically, if you don't really have that much, you can be a little bit more, a little bit more patient. You can wait a bit more. If you're like me, we've got tons of skins. Maybe you probably do want to consider selling some things now because we don't have this wonderful post-Christmas time forever. So, in short, we're going to go ahead, we're going to talk about the skins, we're going to talk about what's likely going to be happening over the course of the next month or so. Right, so I'm sure many of you are well aware now, it's the 1st of January for 2024. Wow! But you might have noticed, and you can probably tell based on my sales, that skin prices haven't exactly gone insanely over the past few days since Christmas. And that, it's fine, alright? Because I'm going to basically showcase to you that everything is lining up to be as exactly like last year's post-Christmas, 2022 rolling into 2023. So let's just get a good look at the likes of the player count at the moment. So in regards to player count, we have seen the likes of a very nice boost in player count. Now you might instantly sit there and say, but Hedge, we didn't get as high enough average player count compared to 2022 December time. And yeah, you're correct. We had almost 86,000 average players. First of all, are you going to really moan about 2,000 extra people? Also, there's a very good reason as to why 2023 went a little bit lower compared to 2022. We had a very slow start. So let's just quickly explain this. December 2022 kicked off amazingly instantly because we had a Forcewipe quite literally on the 1st of December. So December 2022, this is a 2022 calendar, as you can see right here, yeah. It all kicked off insanely, very good player counts throughout. And as you can see, as we scroll down a little bit more, almost 86,000 average player count, a very nice boost compared to November, October and September, and a fairly decent peak player count. Now, when we rolled into January time, loads of people were still playing the game, and of course, with the January Forcewipe, we reached a very nice, very high peak player count. As we look over to our current point right here, we've just wrapped up with the likes of December 2023, but as you can see, we actually did better in terms of getting more people playing and, of course, a bigger gain percent. So beforehand, we were very hard stuck on 69,000 average people playing, but we've increased more with more people playing, returning and whatnot, compared to last year. So as you can see, only 13,000 gain compared to 15,000. So that's cool. Also, we had a very, very nice peak player count that happened before post-Christmas, funnily enough. That happened literally just before Christmas time. I have talked about that quite a lot recently, so this is a great chance to talk about the likes of my Twitter. If you want to stay up to date in regards to goings-on with the likes of post-Christmas and whatnot, I am posting things every now and then in regards to things I notice on the Steam market, which I can showcase to you right here. So this is where I was talking about just before Christmas time, how player counts were doing very nicely. We had the likes of me talking about, all right, you've got to be aware how some of these skins are likely going to behave. Some of them can be a bit weird. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to be informative. I'm pointing out how certain skins have been bought out, cleaned out, quantities down, prices increasing. The more you are aware of all of these things, the better. Yes, here as well. So I posted this just a few days ago. I'm really getting the point across to people that January 4th is the expected time where we see the really big boost in player count. That is where we're expecting most of the returning players to appear. So there's another thing here which I'm going to have to talk about. Brutalist skins, don't worry, we'll go back to that in a second. But point made is that we beat last year's peak player count during December. We've got more people back. If anything, I'll say we're about equal to the amount of average players and people returning compared to what we had with last year, because with what we had for December in 2023 was quite ridiculous. We had the latest possible time to have the Forcewipe for December. So last year, we had it literally in the 1st of December. This year, we had it literally at the latest point. But even then, all right, even then, we still managed to get a lot of people returning. So I don't think we're currently going through any issues, problems, or there's nothing to worry about in regards to player count, because people did return, and we are literally quite the same in regards to what we were positioned at last year. That was a bit of a rambly way of getting everything across. But if you are aware with how good last year's post-Christmas was, I'm pretty sure you're going to feel very comfortable right about now. So as we established, last year's post-Christmas rose up very nicely, and we got a ridiculously high average player count. Now, in regards to what happened last year, as we rolled in from December 2022 into January and February 2023, the post-Christmas was so strong. The post-Christmas was so strong that it rolled into February time, and there was an instance where many skins actually peaked around February time as well. So post-Christmas last year lasted for about 8 weeks. And if that happens again this year, or this upcoming year, we are going to be in for some very, very good profits. So, yeah, you can see it held up quite strong, but then when we reach around March, April time, it dips off a fair bit. But then when we get to the summer, loads of people return again. So that should be something you're well aware of. Right then, so things are definitely lining up to be perfectly fine for post-Christmas. Yes, we might not have seen every single skin magically rise up in price instantly, but we have definitely got signs of people showing interest, people jumping in, and people, buying these things out. For example, I've noticed Alien Red is now on the front page, so let's just go give this a good look. This is going to probably give us a very good idea of the current standings in regards to the economy, because usually loads of people want to have an Alien Red when they return to play the game. There's only 37 of these on the Steam market, currently over $150. Let's go see its sales history over the past year, and wouldn't you be... Wow, oh yeah, okay, there you go. So, for the beginning of 2023, we saw this basically rise up, and it reached all the way up to about $140. Kind of stagnated for a bit during around springtime, boosted itself up ever so nicely around the summertime, went down a fair bit, and now it's already going back up. And I'll be honest with you guys, I think we've already matched up to the peak player count. The peak price. Sorry. Well, I mean, there was a ton of people playing around July time. We did see that. And it does correlate to what we're currently seeing. So July time, 95,000 average player count, 182,000 peak players. At the current rate what we're going, we've already matched up to that in regards to the skin. So in terms of, is this a perfect measurement to see if everything's perfectly fine at the moment? I wouldn't say that, but it's definitely giving you a bit of like a positive, what's the word to say, insight. Loads of people returning, they're going for all the meta skins, all of them are getting bought out, and with that, they're rising back up to their all-time high prices, which I don't think we're going to be able to get to there that quickly, but in terms of recent times, yeah, we're getting good, we're doing good. So, overall, this seems to be being bought out, but is this the only thing that we should talk about? No. We should talk about some other things. So, in one of my tweets, I did talk about the likes of the Kiss AR. Throughout all of this past year in 2023, well, I mean, last year now, technically speaking, but yes, this was bought out, completely cleaned out, but it has managed to retain some of its value. Other people clearly noticed this. Other people jumped in and loaded some of their stock, but it hasn't really completely dropped off. So if we just go see how it's been over the past week or so, loads of people jumped in and bought out a whole chunk of the available stock, and now it seems to have calmed down, and it is at a higher level. It has essentially elevated to about almost 50% plus. Will it still potentially go even higher? I wouldn't be surprised if it does. As you can see, we only have 41 of these available, and the resistance, what resistance? There's no big fat quantity wars, there's no problems there. That could easily rise up in price if people so wish to use the likes of our lovely pink Kiss AR. I wouldn't be surprised if it does go back up in price. So I'm confident in that. Yes, it has gone down a fair bit based on what I saw with the likes of this tweet over here, if you can remember. Which one was it? I've lost it. There it is. Yeah. Actually, no, we're not that far off. Hang on a minute. No, we're just a few sales and then we're back up to there. Yeah, all right. No, we're actually looking very nice. We're looking very, very nice. So let me just close that tab there. Right. So what other skins could we potentially look at to get a good insight in regards to how things are currently shaking up? Sorry, it's late. We had the likes of the Forest Raiders hoodie. What else could we see? Whiteout hoodie. That's a great talk. Yes. Loads of whiteout skins have been bought out ridiculously. If we quickly hop back over to here, what was a recent tweet I put out? There we go. Whiteout skins constantly being bought. They keep persisting on the front page of the Rust Steam market, with prices still trending up to all-time peaks. Remember, January Forcewipe, the 4th of January, is expected to give an even bigger boost. So more people expected to return to play the game, and there is expected to be another sharp increase in demand for the likes of the meta skins, aka stuff like whiteout skins. So Whiteout Hoodie here, sitting at $11 with 77 quantity. Let's go take a look at it right now. So we just saw that. We'll look at you in a second for us Raiders Hoodie. Yeah, what do we have? 89, and the current price is still $11. So do you understand that? We've increased in quantity by a bit, but it's still increased in price. Now, we do have these quantities here. That's a bit of a problem. If they weren't there, I'd feel a lot more confident in this rising up in price even higher. But just to give you a nice, very good visual in regards to the current standing with the Whiteout Hoodie here, it is currently in the position of its all-time highest price. Has it stopped? No, I do not think so. Like I said, I'm expecting a ton of people to be returning for the 4th of January for this Forcewipe. It is expected that we potentially, throughout all of January 2024, potentially, I say, we could have an average player count of 100,000. You have to take into consideration that we have had the likes of the 10th anniversary. Rust has been on sale for quite some time, during all of December, basically, and of course for at least a few more days into January. So I can't help but feel like a lot of people have bought the game. There's very likely a whole reasonable amount of people who have played it for the first time. We, of course, are expecting returning players. You also had to take into consideration not everybody is instantly going back to school, college and whatnot. We'll see how it all plays out, but many skins are currently like this. Some of them only kind of tickling to go upwards, but the meta skins are definitely being attacked. They are definitely getting bought out. So let's go take a look at the likes of the Forest Raiders Hoodie. Currently you're selling for how much? $17. That's very nice, very cool. Now let's go compare it to the sales price from earlier this year, because Forest Raiders as a whole increased in price very highly this year. And look at that. We're already beating it. We've already beaten it. Look at that. Look at that. So around the summertime when we had tons of people playing, it peaked up to a very nice price. That's cool. But it don't matter because we've already beaten that. Oh, yes, we have. So most skins... this year, or rather last year, for December, for 2023, the vast majority of skins reached their lowest point around the beginning of October. So as you can see here with the likes of this hoodie, it kept going up and up and up and up and up and up and up, and basically it's doubled in price ever since October. Welcome to post-Christmas, everybody. The momentum is strong, and it looks like it's only going to keep itself up and go even higher in regards to this skin. So look at that sharp rise. I told so many people... I have to brag about this a little bit if I can. Sorry about this, sorry. But if I just keep scrolling down to around October time, I put out a very nice little video right here called October Lowest Price Points 2023. I gave everybody a big warning. I said, listen guys, beginning of October is looking like it's the lowest point for many Rust skins. Invest now, invest now. Guess what? It was correct. I was correct. Wow. So that proved to be very insightful for a lot of people, I'm sure. And I hope you did manage to pick up a lot of things at their cheapest price, because as we roll into January time right now, especially with Forcewipe just around the corner, so many skins are going to be increasing in price. Ever so nice. So how you might want to act based on when that all kicks off, I would definitely recommend you watch this video. Now, this is more of a case of being prepared, all right? This is going to help you understand how you might want to approach things in regards to selling your skins and whatnot. In this video, I'm trying to get across to you, do you want to sell now or do you want to wait a little bit more? And of course, we're going to figure out how things potentially might turn out throughout the rest of these few weeks. But here, this is more about what to do with your inventory and what might potentially happen during the likes of the next few weeks in regards to, basically, there's quantity wars you have to be aware of. There's people who might unload a whole bunch of stock on the Steam market. You'd likely want to be aware of the likes of certain situations in regards to, what else did we have here? Budget options. Yes, you definitely want to be aware of those, because not everybody can afford the likes of a Blackout collection, but they might look at the likes of Dragon Rage or Black Gold or Pirate Collection. Those are much more cheaper and affordable. In fact, recently we had the likes of Legacy Kevlar, didn't we? Oh yes, that's very interesting, especially due to the fact that the Kilt came out recently. So I would definitely recommend that you watch this video as well, just to basically get a full understanding how to approach every single thing in regards to post-Christmas. But here we go, back over to here. Right, so we've established skins are increasing in price ever so nicely, but we're also going to notice a lot of skins getting a lot of hype now. So this is where I need to talk about the likes of Brutalist doors. So I'm sure many of you are well aware that we've had Brutalist doors come out over the past few months, and they are very pay to win. They have transparency, angle on the dark, and they are ridiculous and affordable, technically speaking. Yes, the prices have increased. So a TikTok video was made very recently, and a lot of people took notice, and a lot of people have jumped in on these. This all kicked off before like the main like prime time of like post-Christmas momentum. So these all got bought out, which I can show you right here. As you can see, literally just a few days ago, whoop, already picked up. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that might not seem too ridiculous, but it's the beginning of something potentially even stronger. So do be aware of that. Whilst loads of skins have peaked up a little bit, please be aware that they are likely nowhere near their all-time peaks. We are still expecting the strongest potential peaks for the vast majority of skins to take place at some point during January over the course of the next maybe couple weeks or so. At least with the likes of post-Christmas, as I said, we're expecting a whole lot more people to jump in and play, and when loads of people return to play the game, there will be a massive surge in demand for the likes of all skins, and of course all skin prices are expected to increase in price. It's not too hard. If everything gets bought out, there's only so much stock available, therefore only the more expensive listings are going to be left, and well, people won't care, they'll probably still go ahead and buy them. Do be aware, there's a lot of younger people who have like Christmas money they want to spend, and of course they're going to waste it on pixels. Ha ha ha, sweet delicious pixels, oh yes. So anyway, a pay to win option, I can't help but feel like a lot of people don't want to turn down the opportunity to pick those up. So we got the likes of the garage door here doing a lot better at the moment. A good few weeks back, this was sitting at around $4. It pushed up to $6. More people listed some of theirs, but give it a little bit more time. I wouldn't be surprised if this grows in price a little bit higher. How high will it go? Well, I can't really answer that for you. But let me tell you, the amount of transparency that this garage door has, second to none. Like nothing really compares to it. There is nothing out there that has so much visibility in regards to what this has. It's ridiculous, and that does apply to basically every single door skin that we have here shown to you. The Brutalist sheet metal door has been a very big talking point recently, because currently right now in the current Rust door with the bombshell sheet metal door, this is also transparent, this is a lot more affordable, but the sheet metal door over here, the Brutalist sheet metal door, edges it out. It edges it out based on the amount of transparency, the amount that you can see through of it. It's ridiculous. I'm so surprised that we are now getting skins like this, pay-to-win skins like this, but hey, Face Punch did it, and you might want to grab some before they become ridiculously expensive. All it takes is maybe a few more YouTube videos, TikTok videos, bragging about how pay-to-win these skins are, and then suddenly, they might have doubled in price and gone even higher. So this is like the warning to all of you. I've shown off these skins. It's up to you with what you do next in regards to your money. But if you happen to own some of these, I would wait it out a little bit longer. Yep. A lot of skins that have a lot of hype behind them, wait it out just a little bit longer, all right? Whether it's the likes of Forest Raiders, Blackout, Whiteout, unless you have a ridiculous amount of them, wait it out just a little bit longer, all right? Please be aware of that. We're expecting potentially even higher prices when we get a lot more people playing. When you see what's left of this Brutalist armored door, you got a 1, 1, 2, 12, 3. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's going to go up in price more so. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. The only potential problems that we can see happening that might potentially ruin it for this is if we see some idiot unload like 100 quantity wall. I don't know why people do that. It's ridiculously lazy, stupid, and very, very, like, well, not smart, because it's smarter to list things in groups of 3 to 5, because then you're riding the momentum, right? You don't want to completely stop the momentum. To completely stop the momentum, you'd unload about 1,000 quantity. People But the price ain't going to go. It is not going to go any higher because you put down a big fat wall that will block the wave of momentum. But if you list things in small quantities and wait it for to sell, you'll keep riding that momentum, and with the momentum, the price will just keep steadily increasing and increasing. If you want to make much better profits, you'd much rather want to ride the wave of momentum. That's not too hard to comprehend, I'm sure. If you put down a big fat stack, you're only ruining it for yourself for your optimal potential profits. All right, please be aware of these things. Loads of other people trying to sell their stuff as well. That's fine, but let me tell you, let me just kind of get this into your heads. When we got a ton of people playing, right, your skins are very likely to just sell very quickly. All right, please understand this. I'm not joking. They're going to sell like that. So don't worry too much. If you're like me, I made a bit of a joke earlier, but I have a ton of skins. I'm not going to list something and stare at it and stare at it and stare at it. No, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be listing all of my other skins. All right, I'm going to be listing. I mean, I could show you right here. So let's just refresh. Let's just go take a look at what we currently have. First of all, let's just make sure that they're all tradable. So, yeah, marketable. Marketable. Sort them by price. Right, so what do I have big fat stacks of at the moment? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go list, let's just say 4 of these. 3, 4. Well, you know what? First of all, I'm going to go take a look at the likes of how many of these in the Steam market. Come on, Steam, work for me. Don't be stupid now. All right, so we can currently see that there's only 31 of them in the Steam market. Now, on average, every Ruskin in the Steam market should have around 100 quantity. This has very, very, very low quantity. Now, I am well aware of the likes of the Redemption Collection. I can't even see the R300. Oh, there is. I'm not going to be surprised the Redemption Collection gets cleaned out because it's very likely going to be one of the go-to collections to buy out and put in the likes of the weapon racks. A lot of people who left during the likes of the summertime and completely weren't around during the likes of autumn and fall season are very likely completely unaware of what weapon racks are and whatnot. So they've just returned. They see that those exist. They're going to want to go buy some skins that are nice and shiny and cool to look at. I've said this so many times. Redemption and Chameleon, I fully expect them to go very, very high in terms of their prices. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more Chameleon and Redemption skins being accepted throughout the likes of January. So yeah, they're all starting to cruise up in price. Damn, look at this bolt action rifle. Did you just magically double in price recently? Let's just go find out. Sales history. Nope, just trending upwards, nice and calm like. Only 27 on the Steam market. Well, you turned out greatly. You don't stop. Keep going up in price. Go on, you can do it. So yeah, the likes of that, and of course the Redemption Collection, they're all going to do very nice, okay? You might sit there and say, Hedge, you just rambled, you went off on a tangent. No. These are some things that you're going to need to be aware of before you consider selling anything instantly. What I just did there was thrown out some context to you, and now I realise, whilst the prices might be very nice at the moment, because there's nothing there, and because we haven't gone into the full swing of things in regards to post-Christmas, I'd rather just wait it out a little bit longer. There's only so many of these in circulation. There's only so many listings. It's very weak in terms of the quantity walls. Like, there's no big fat quantities there whatsoever. I can't help but feel like that's going to potentially easily rise up to $7 to $8. And you know what? I'd rather sell mine for $7 to $8 rather than $5.50. Catch my drift? So, you know what? Oh, sorry, didn't try that. So you know what? I'm not going to sell those. I'm going to wait on it a little bit longer. Yes, maybe I'll wait another week or two. That's fine. Why don't I go ahead and take a look at the likes of these Berserker hoodies? So let's go look at the past, make some comparisons. So this is currently selling for $5. Well, that's pretty cool. And there's only 52 of these listed on Steam market. All right. How high did it go earlier this year? Because it's only been around for a reasonable amount of time. So this peaked up at around $6 back in February. So like I said, post-Christmas last year was ridiculous. Look at that. Whoosh. That went up by 5 times its price almost. I can't remember if we got more pieces accepted around then, but that is a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Right, so early this year, we saw prices sitting for around $5 again, like June time. I don't think we're going to see prices like that happening anytime soon. Potentially. I can't remember what potentially caused that to go up so high. But you know what? We've already matched up to the price that it sold for during the likes of the summertime. I am somewhat tempted to sell some. I only have 3, and maybe the money might it might be good to me now, but it is looking a fair bit thin. So do you know what? In the current position that it's in, and with not that much stock listed, maybe I do want to wait out on this a little bit longer. Am I going to actually sell anything? Well, do you know what? I could sell something. Fireworks. What's all this about? So I'm sure many of you are not fully aware. I actually did tweet about this earlier, so I could probably go ahead and show that off. So here's the tweet. With large and small fireworks packs returning to the Rust store for New Year's, the listings on the Steam market have started to get bought out. Would you rather buy a large pack for $10 in the store, or would you rather buy one for less than $5 on the Steam market? So this is something that we saw happen over the course of Christmas time. Many Christmas-themed items were selling on the Steam market for a cheaper price compared to what they're selling for in the Rust store. Now, what that actually causes is loads of people to go to the Steam market instead and buy those instead. Why? Well, because they're cheaper. Why would I want to go to the Rust store and buy this for $10 when I can go buy two of them for less than $10? Does that make sense to you? And no, I wouldn't buy two, I'd buy one, wouldn't I? So a lot of people are being guided towards the likes of that. Now, this could have gone higher in price quite easily. But do you notice the immediate problem? Do you notice this big fat stack of quantity right here? Yeah. Someone got lazy, someone unloaded all of their stock, and now, the momentum basically died off. So let me just quickly show this to you in terms of recent sales. Do you see how it's trending upwards and then has a bit of a spike? Yes, that was all purely based on the fact that we, of course, saw the return of these fireworks appearing in the Rust store right now. Very nice, very cool. But due to a certain individual listing a whole fat stack of them, the momentum of it increasing in price, because, there's only so much available, well, that's completely reached to a halt, and other people have noticed this, and now people are starting to undercut them. So, unfortunately, this probably might have already peaked. Now, I wouldn't really sit here and say it's completely done, it's completely finished. Like I said, we do have the likes of post-Christmas still to properly kick off with the January Forcewipe. I could probably wait until then, but one very important detail I mentioned earlier was the main driving factor in regards to what you probably want to do in terms of when you want to sell is probably based on the amount that you own. Now, don't worry, you're probably sitting there and saying, damn, Hedge, how much did you buy these for? Quite a lot cheaper compared to the price they're currently selling for. So, based on what I've seen, do you know what? Let's just go sell some. Now, I want this to, really pick up at some point and do all right. So do you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and list 3. So I'm going to go list mine for about 2 pennies cheaper. And there you go, job done. That's all I've got to do. Now, you might be wondering how you're able to list multiples. That's thanks to my extension Steam Inventory Helper. It's up to you if you wish to proceed to also get that, but I'm not going to advocate for it. That's a decision you're going to have to make. Sorry if I sound weird about that, but, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, yes, go buy it. No. You don't buy it. It's free. It's a Google extension. Whatever. So, yes, I listed 3 there because I'd rather see it rise in price over time rather than, be like the other guy. Like, I could just go unload 110 myself if I so wish, but I'm not going to do that because that's stupid. Yeah. Right, so Cold Hunter Crossbow, what's going on with you? Let's go take a quick look. So right now you're selling above $6, almost $7. Whoa, 33 on the Steam market. Ooh, whoa. And all-time high price? Not really, no. But we are matching up to last year's post-Christmas price. We're getting there. Yeah, I think we're close to it. Do you know what? Based on the amount that are currently listed on the Steam market, I'd rather wait it out a little bit longer. All right. So you might realise you'll probably be saying that quite a lot, but my main sort of deadline point is going to be post-Christmas, more specifically the period of time between the 4th and the 7th, this period of time. If I notice the skins aren't surpassing last year's post-Christmas that much, then maybe I'll just consider selling. If they are trending upwards and looking very strong, maybe I'll wait it out a little bit longer. Does that make sense to you? So with a quick little comparison, I looked at how high this went last year, and I'm currently thinking, right, there's only 33 of these left, on the Steam market that is. There's not that much resistance, of course, because there's only 33. I'll leave it. I'll see what happens over the course of the next few days. And if everything looks a whole lot stronger over the course of the next few days, I'll probably wait out just a little bit longer. Or maybe, just maybe, I won't unload all of my stock. I'll probably sell them one at a time, see if it keeps going up and up and up. I only have so many. So in regards to that, maybe I'll sell one at a time, wait a couple days, sell again, wait a day or two. Who knows? But It's up to you based on how much you bought them for and how many you own. For example, I also have a whole bunch of Blackout MP5s, one of the very nice skins to have for an MP5, purely based on the fact that it has some transparency on its aim sight. So as you can see, you might notice when we look at the sales history when the TikTok videos were made about it. Is it that noticeable? Look at that. So yeah, earlier this year, last year, 2023, this was sitting here at about $5. TikTok video made about it, doubles in price. Another TikTok video made about it, goes up even higher. So this reached up to about $15 at one point around June time. We are we are trending up very nicely to get close to that. Have we stopped? I don't think so. How much quantity do we currently have? 85. So that's not like the Cold Hunter bow. We do have more listings. However, just get a proper look at it. Do you reckon that could still rise up and get close to around $15? I'm not going to say no, but I do expect it could potentially still go up in price. But the price it's currently selling for is still reasonably good. So I will just come clean here. I didn't own 40 of these. No. I owned 50. So you can see, oh wow, 49. Okay, I must have given them all away. But yeah, I've sold 9 of them. And I was fine to do that because I'm not sure if it's going to be super special forever. There is the likes of the Redemption MP5 and the recent Charitable Rust MP5 that also has the transparency. So maybe this might be its last hurrah and then it goes down in value. Or maybe it just keeps going upwards. I don't know. But I was happy to sell for the price it's currently at. And I owned almost 50. So I was like, yeah, I can live with that. I'll be good. Right, so I'm sure, based on what I've just showcased to all of you, how I kind of looked at some of these skins that I have available currently, but I kind of thought to myself, you know what? I could probably wait just a few more days just to see if it potentially could still go higher. Is that understandable to you? So the moral of the story in regards to selling skins is that if you don't really notice any momentum really picking up between the likes of the 4th to the 7th, consider selling it. However, if you do notice that skins are for example, let's say the graffiti clove storage, this is now sitting at about $6. I'm actually very surprised to see that. Oh wow, it is. Oh wow, 60. Whoa. Okay, look. With the current standings, it looks like it could get up to $7. Could it be a bit of a struggle? I don't know. You'd have to really look in depth in regards to like the sales it's had over the past few months. 18 sales today, but what would it be after the 4th of January? But yeah, it's doing a lot better compared to its lowest point back in around, well, early October. Last year, summertime. Summertime, this was selling for above almost $8. Yeah. Oh, wow. So, yeah, maybe based on what I've seen there, I think I could wait it out a little bit longer. Yeah. But what did I do? I looked at this, right? I looked at how many were on the Steam market. I looked at how it was listed out. I kind of questioned, could it potentially reach $7? There's quite a decent amount here. But then I looked at the likes of the sales over the past year, and yeah, it reached up to $8 at one point. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get player counts very similar to around June, July time. I think it's probably better off that I wait it out just a little bit longer just to see how things turn out. So you've got every skin has a little story to it. You've got to read into it. Now you're probably sitting there and thinking, this sounds like a lot of effort. Yeah. Yeah. So picture this, right? It's been the January Forcewipe and skins are starting to really ramp up in demand and whatnot. Every time you're looking at a skin and trying to figure out, should I sell now or not? If you've already made a listing, right? By the time you've wasted your time trying to figure out, okay, I'll sell this or I won't, or I'll sell this for a certain price, blah, 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 blah. Those listings that you did a little bit beforehand, so if I just quickly go over to here, did I sell one yet? Not yet. But it would have been really funny if I did sell one. Point I'm trying to get across is when you're figuring out prices and listing all of these, like I said, if you sell in small batches and the demand is really strong and really ramping up, those skins will just sell like that. So I've rambled a fair bit talking about my thought process, but when you're thinking and questioning whether you want to list and whatnot, those skins are going to sell. So this is the point I'm trying to get across to all of you. Try your best and avoid listing all of your skins. Look at me, I can't be asked to 150. Let's go. No, I'm not going to do that. No. Sell in small batches, ride the wave of momentum, look at all of your other skins, consider selling them, same thing applies, sell in batches are free and whatnot, and after you've made a reasonable amount of sales, then go look in the Steam market, then look and see if you've actually managed to sell anything, and pretty much, yeah, you're very likely going to see a whole bunch of sales. In fact, I think I do have a good example over here. This account earlier, right, it didn't actually have that much money. With the pending, it does add up to 352, but I actually made some listings earlier, and yeah, there you go. There's that Blackout MP5, Ghost Flame L96. I judged those skins. I looked at them, and I thought, you know what? I probably could go sell some of them. I could, and I did. So yeah, I had a reasonable amount of Blackout hoodies. I spread them around in my other accounts. I decided to sell a little bit here and there, just to pick up some money, just to kind of pick up some, nice profits and whatnot. Could they potentially go higher? I'm sure they probably could, but, couldn't hurt to just sell a reasonable amount if I have a lot of it. And guys, I have a lot. So I looked at that and thought, okay, I will consider selling some things just to kind of get a good, taste of how things are currently looking. So I also have another good example. I had a very big surprise in regards to this account just a couple of days back. So this account really took me by surprise based on it randomly picked up an expensive, well, you'll see it in a second. Where is he? Come on, don't be shy. He'll be here in a second. I bought a factory new Print Stream USP. There he is, yeah! I bought that for just over $100. Now, for the price it's currently selling for, about $130, $140, that's totally fine. I want to hold on to that. But my account had no money on it. Now, I have, registered this. I have, written it down. I've been putting an effort in. For every single thing I buy that's sort of notable, if it's notable, I'll write it down. I bought that Print Stream USP for £85 my currency, and I had, 20 quid on the account, this one here. So I thought, you know what? All right, I've just spent a bunch of money. I want to keep this. I went and listed a fairly decent amount of things. Nothing too ridiculous in terms of the quantities, but they sold. Money went on this account. Everything turned out ever so nicely. So yes. And yes, I did go for the process of, yeah, all right, maybe I could sell the skin now. Actually, no, I probably don't want to sell that skin yet. So yeah, I went through that whole silly process. But it sold like that, all right? Now, I didn't list a ridiculous amount of things, but they did sell fairly quickly, all right? And the prices they sold for, I'm happy with, because I know I have a whole lot more. So I'm not sure if everybody can think like that in regards to if they want to sell right now, but I'm sure I've kind of shown off more than enough that, yeah, me and you, we're completely different. I don't think many of you are going to be like this. Some of you might. I don't think you need my advice, but yeah, patience is rewarding for not only you, but for everybody. Right then, so we have talked quite a fair bit in regards to selling skins. I feel like we've got the message across now. Consider waiting just a few more days, see how it all plays out. There's very likely going to be even more pushes in regards to certain skins going even higher. Like Alien Red really pushing recently was something that, again, only happened fairly recently. Christmas Lights, how are you holding up? Because, of course, we didn't see you return at all for the 10th anniversary of Rust, so you're now sitting at $170. And, yeah, well, you're trending upwards. And look, guys, come on now. Do you honestly think that's not going to reach a new all-time high price? Of course it is. So things are all starting to kick off. But yeah, I wouldn't have noticed that probably a few days back, but I do notice it now. All right, so got to be a little bit more patient, but maybe you want to sell a few things here and there. That's fine. Right, so we've established that maybe it's a little bit smart to just be a little bit more patient. Cool, that's nice. But what we should also talk about is what can you do with the profits that you make, all right? Because what's going to happen is, and it's very, 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 very likely going to happen, based on the currency you have, your maximum Steam wallet should only be allowed to have up to $2,000 or equal to $2,000, if that makes sense. For me, that's £1,700 sterling. I'm not sure what it is for euros and whatnot, but I'm sure many of you are well aware that you can only have so much Steam Wallet on your accounts. Now, if you're like me, an absolute madman with several accounts, you can kind of get around that by having several accounts that could be maxed out. But even then, I'm very confident that I'm going to max out all of these 8 accounts. I'm sure it's not too hard to understand why. So I don't mean to brag, but overall, you're going to be suffering with this. But it's a problem because Rust skins are going to be at their all-time high prices. It's the absolute best time to sell, but you're not going to be able to sell because you've completely maxed out your accounts. So when you're in that position, what are you going to want to do? First things first, I would point out to you that you definitely want to exhaust your account. What does that mean? First of all, if you are well aware in regards to buy orders and whatnot, with all the buy orders that you do, it will add up to a total buy order amount, all right? Now, based on the amount of money you have, and in theory, if you have maximum Steam Wallet, you will be able to have equal to around $20,000 maximum in terms of what you would technically be allowed. So for me, if I had £1,700 right now, I could have up to, based on the rules of 10 times your current Steam Wallet, I could do £17,000 worth of buy orders. So you might notice, with the current money I have, times 10, I'd only be allowed to do 4,850 buy orders. When you scroll down over to here, thanks to my extension pointing this out, I've already got 11,000. How is that allowed? How's that happen? Because I did the buy orders before, when I had a ton of money on this account. And no, I'm not going to lose any buy orders or anything with this, with all of this here. No, it never leaves. These buy orders will never leave unless I don't have enough money for each individual buy order. Like, I can easily afford that. Please sell me one of these for £1 if you could. But yeah, if you can get all of those buy orders or smart buy orders out of the way, then start spending some money and whatnot, that would probably be a whole lot smarter. I'm just saying, get those long-term, maybe lower-priced buy orders out of the way, because I'm sure many of you are well aware that the likes of the upcoming CS2 major is going to put a damper on our skin prices. So if you aren't fully well aware, PGL Copenhagen 2024 for Counter-Strike 2 is going to be the first major taking place, in CS2. Technically speaking, Counter-Strike has been having tons of majors, but for quote-unquote the brand new Counter-Strike 2, this is going to be its first proper major, and, well, basically, that's going to lead to the likes of a whole bunch of content being introduced. I'm talking sticker capsules, autograph capsules, brand new team stickers, brand new autograph stickers, souvenir packages and whatnot. I have to bring this up because whilst we'll be having a very splendid time during the likes of post-Christmas, throughout January, probably into the likes of February and whatnot, once we start to enter March time, this tournament, or rather this major tournament, will be taking place. All that brand new content will come out around the middle of March, and if it's all interesting, I really hope we don't, sorry, God, that was hard. I really hope we don't get borderless stickers again, but if we do, that might completely go awry with the Counter-Strike market. But yeah, people are going to very likely want to get some quick money so they can throw out all the new stuff in Counter-Strike. And I've said this so many times over the past several weeks, but you should not be surprised to know that many people who are involved in the likes of the Rust economy are also involved in the likes of the Counter-Strike economy. So they're going to be perfectly happy to clean out their Rust inventory to get some quick money to then go throw out all the new stuff in Counter-Strike, which will lead to loads of people trying to sell their Rust skins rather than buy them, which will of course lead to loads of undercutting, which will of course lead to pretty much every single Rust skin going down in price. This is the usual trend that you should expect by default, because of course usually around March, April time we do see a bit of a drop in player counts. They do improve again around summertime, but during that period of time here, by default all skins are expected to go down in price. With the likes of this major taking place, it's only going to exacerbate the problems. It's very likely going to cause a lot of skin prices to go down, potentially even harder. So the choice is up to you in regards to, maybe you might want to sell your skins during January, because you could just pick them up again around March, April time for a much cheaper price. If that sounds interesting to you. Alright, so that was a little bit awkward there, I'm sure. But please be aware that if you can do so, you probably want to sell these skins. So when we go back over to the likes of here, the point I was talking about, if you could exhaust all of your accounts, if possible, maybe you might want to make an extra account just so you can keep selling more. I don't blame you. I do that, of course. But at the very least, before you like abandon ship and leave that account there with all the money that it has, with all the barters that it has, just try and make sure you can max out as much as you can. So, like I said, in theory, if you could do as many barters as you can, that might be safe. Again, that'll be a process of looking at the past, putting some lowball prices down for many Rust skins or Counter-Strike skins or TF2 hats, you name it. If you're involved in those economies, feel free to do so. Just try and put an effort in to make sure that you have as many barters as you can, and just leave it. Yeah, just leave it. Leave it be. As time goes on, you very likely will be picking up a whole bunch of cheap skins and whatnot, which you can then sell during the likes of summertime. Because as we said, with last year's summertime, we got ridiculous numbers as well. Loads of little kids and college students out of school and college, they were playing Rust. And with so many people playing, massive surge in demand for all skins, and of course prices were very high as well. So that is why I would suggest consider getting all of those barters down whilst you can, and then just leave it be. All right, so in theory, you have an exhausted account. You don't have to worry about putting any more money on the account and whatnot. You just leave it be. And, well, if you kind of do want to keep working with it, all right, maybe you can't get that many barters down. Maybe maybe a good few $1,000 or euros or pounds from reaching the maximum. But you do still want to keep selling your Rust skins. What do you want to do? Well, you're going to need to buy things, aren't you? Oh, yes, indeed. You're going to need, want to buy things just so you can continue selling the Rust skins whilst they're at their all-time highest price. But you can't really buy Rust skins, can you? Because, well, they're going to go back down in price again at some point. So what do you do? Well, like I said, if you are invested into likes of other economies, it's going to be very helpful. But for a very nice sort of baseline approach, I'm going to suggest something to you right here. So, you might not want a Steam Deck. That's fine. But I'll assure you that not everybody in the world can acquire one. And I'm pretty sure they want the brand new 1TB OLED Steam Deck with all the nice upgrades compared to the dingy, whingy old one there. So, kind of get that in your head. You potentially might not want it, but someone else out there might potentially want it. So I'm not going to say anything else. If you understand what I've just said there, consider it, all right? If you can, get one. Cool. Another thing I'd suggest to you, well, we still got the Steam sale taking place for a good few more days. Now, awkward, yeah, the sale ends when the Forcewipe starts for January. That's going to be a little bit awkward. But if you've already made like a ton of money, and you kind of think, you know what, I could go ahead and spend some money now beforehand, before I start really selling like some of my Rust skins. Why not be the awesome friend and go buy your friends some games and whatnot? Or maybe you could help them get them for a bit cheaper. It's up to you. You could do whatever you want. I'm just going to point that out. Also, go ahead, go buy some more games. Go enjoy yourself, There's a play. Oh, wait, hang on a minute. Have I sold something already? No way. Yeah, there you go. I told you. It was quick. Okay. That was just one listing, but when you have multiples upon multiples upon multiples of listings, right, you're going to see more things selling fairly quickly overall. But it happened. Like within this talk I'm giving to you, we got some sales already. I could go ahead and list 2 more. And you know what? Just to kind of really stick it with the point I said a little bit earlier, that's exactly what we're going to go do. We're going to go list 2 more. I'm going to have to refresh, I think. Oops. Yeah, that's a little bit of an awkward thing that happens. So fireworks. What price did I sell them for? I'll just look for the one cheaper. Cool. There you go. 2 more. 3.42. 48. Oh, cool. I don't want to outcompete myself that much. And there you go. I've just listed another 2. And there you go. It's as simple as that. So I'm selling for them for a much better price than what I sold them for. But just 2 sales, right? That's hardly a dent. That's hardly going to cause a panic in regards to everybody else who has theirs listed. In fact, to the few people who have like 40 plus, or like 20 plus listings from earlier, they're going to probably hardly even notice that I'm listing at these prices here, because they sell. And then, with the amount that I listed, it's gone. So that's not too hard to comprehend. Right, cool. So where were we? Back over to here. Sorry for the quick random change, but I noticed that I had a little bit more money. And with a little bit more money go look around. Go buy some games, Go buy some games for your friends and then, go play some multiplayer things and whatnot. Get it for cheaper whilst you still can, all right? So that's just another nice little thing that you can do. So we've established that you could go ahead and buy Steam Decks or, Valve Indexes, or go buy games, whether for yourself or your friends or just to help your friends out for a cheaper price. What else could you do? Well, this is where we're going to start dabbling into Counter-Strike. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you aren't exactly going to need this talk, but it doesn't hurt to kind of feel a little bit more motivated to want to buy Counter-Strike cases. So let's just quickly get this point across to all of you. In regards to Counter-Strike, you only have 1,000 quantity. Right? Everyone who has Counter-Strike 2 only has 1,000 quantity. If you want to have even more cases, you're going to need to buy a storage. Now, these storages can hold up to 1,000 quantity as well, but you have to go in-game to buy these, to then open them, and then chuck a whole bunch of stuff inside it. All right? So you can have potentially, in theory, what's 1,000 times 1,000? Oh, I completely forgot this. 1,000 x 1,000, and that would equal to 1,000,000. All right. Well, you're not going to have 1,000,000 skins. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But with what we have here, you can store even more away. And if you have multiple accounts, well, you get more inventory for free. So yes, I would definitely recommend that whilst Rust is on a high, consider looking at the likes of Counter-Strike whilst it's on a low. Yes. So this is where I want to bring up the likes of Counter-Strike cases. Counter-Strike cases work in a fairly straightforward format. In theory, right, we will have 5 prime drops. These are the common cases. When you play a reasonable amount of Counter-Strike every week, you will fulfill like a progress bar, it's like experience, and then when you want to grab in, like when you sit there and say, okay, I'd like to acquire my drops, you will be guaranteed, or in most cases, will be guaranteed to get a case. And in, well, most cases, you're going to get one of these cases. They are the common drops, if you will, all right? But when we get a brand new non-operation case, one of these will have to get pushed out and become a rare case. Now, to get a rare case, I believe it's like a 1% chance that you can get a rare case with your special drops. However, out of that 1%, it's then out of all of these cases. All right, not the discontinued ones, all of these cases. So can you understand that the supply to the quantities of all of these cases has basically diminished because there's just not that many of them being found in drops anymore? This is very, very, very interesting because, in theory, right, the very second we get a brand new non-operational case and we figure out which case has been pushed into rare, that case will automatically have a ton of people buying it out because they know as time goes on, there's going to be less and less and less of them available, which of course leads to their prices going up and up and, well, potentially even higher. Yes. Now, I don't think we're going to get anywhere close to the likes of this anytime soon. But quite a lot of cases over the course of like a year or so have gone up in price ever so nicely, steadily, and well, over the course of the next few weeks, they potentially might go even higher, all right? So point I'm trying to get across now is, for a very, very good candidate to consider putting some of those Rust, post-Christmas Rust profits towards, we have 2 very good candidates right here, Snakebite and Fracture Case. So first things first, let's just show you this special website, CS2 Case Tracker, monthly unboxings. As you can see, Fracture Case is the 3rd most opened, and we have Snakebite Case, which is like 6th. Overall, you can clearly see that they're one of the most open cases. But they're common. Ooh. But there is an interest in them. But from what you can see here between the 2 of them, Fracture Case has a little bit more interest. Cool, we got that nice and established. So here is the Fracture Case. Fracture Case is currently sitting here at 55 cents a piece. If you were to buy 100 of them, well, that's going to cost $55. If you buy 1,000 of them, well, that's going to cost $550. Not too hard to understand. All right, cool. But what have I told you? Like, for a good couple months now, they've actually been somewhat dropping in value over time. Yeah, ever since October, it's dropped a fair bit. Now, I don't fully know the answer as to why, but I'm pretty sure it, coincides with the release of the OLED Steam Deck. Maybe, possibly. Well, that reached a very low point after a very long time. Like after the whole year, Don't worry about this too much. That was like the CS2 beta. That was when everything was super hyped up. But in short, things got a fair bit awkward somewhat recently when things were kind of like normalizing and we're in a bit of a slump. What a great time to consider buying some of these. All right? And not some, I'm talking maybe a good few thousand. This is in a very good, very prime position. All right? So when will we potentially get a brand new non-operation case? Well, the current trend is at some point early next year. Well, technically this year. So within the next month, maybe 6 weeks, it would have to come out fairly soonish before the upcoming major. I get the feeling that would have to be the case. So potentially just around the corner, we are very likely going to see a brand new Counter-Strike non-operation case coming out. And potentially the likes of this fracture case will be going up quite quickly. But this is a matter of, when you take a look at both of these cases, right, you will probably go ahead and buy them, store them away, and forget about them for a year or two. That's going to be the approach. Now, if you're desperate for some money at some point, if we do get the new operation case, wouldn't be surprised at all if these have already gone up in price. How high would they go? Well, based on the unboxings and whatnot, I wouldn't be surprised if they go up a reasonable amount. So, yeah, if you want to learn a little bit more, I would then guide you to the likes of CS2 Stash. It's a very useful website. This will actually showcase to you everything that you can get inside it. But more specifically, the main draw would be the the rare special items. So in this case, I'm sure some of you are reasonably aware of this. Fracture case is the only case that unboxes shattered web knives. So right now, if I were to just quickly show this, see this Nomad knife, factory new fade, it's going to sell for a fairly decent price. Some of them don't have listings because they're quite rare. But if you were to click this, you can see it's only unboxed in 2 cases. How much is the shattered web case right about now? So that's selling for just over, well, that's $5. Cool. Wow. So you can probably understand why the fracture case is fairly pricey, because this is the only other case that unboxes the exact same things. And there are some good knives in that case, and people do want to chase after them. So, in theory, if the likes of this case over here becomes rare, well, in theory, all of these potentially might become rarer or harder to get, and therefore the prices will increase. Now, I'd only really care about the likes of Fade, Case Hardened, maybe Crimson Web. I've bought things like that before, and they've worked out all right. Now, it's not something you can always rely upon, but yeah, you could go ahead and buy some knives, especially in a case that's expected to become rare, with a collection that's going to be a lot more pricier to open, because the options between them are expected to, of course, become a fair bit expensive. If this becomes rare and it doubles in price, it's going to be a lot harder to acquire some of these, and therefore, following the price of these increasing, you'd expect these to increase a fair bit. It's debatable, all right? It's debatable. You have to kind of be aware of the current situation in regards to which knives are popular at the current time and what are not. But you could just go ahead and look at the sales history of these. So if I go to here, here is the StatTrack Paracord Knife Fade, and look at the sales history, and it dipped a fair bit, went up a fair bit, went back down a bit. Yeah, basically the exact same thing that we saw with the likes of the fracture case fairly recently. And this is pricey, right? This is looking at about $700. But based on a little bit of research, maybe, just maybe, that will start to trend upwards and go up in price ever so nicely. It's up to you what you do, but I feel like I've said more than enough there. So with the information I've, given to you, what are you going to do next, all right? What are you going to do next? So that's over the past year. It went up very nicely around here. It's kind of trending downwards a fair bit, but it probably can only go down so much, and then it'll start going back up again. I'm not going to recommend that to you right now. You have to make that decision yourselves. So you've got a fair bit of research to do. But by looking into the likes of what cases are going to become a lot more valuable, we've also looked at other options, namely the contents inside them. You could also take a look at the skins. The skins are still good to consider looking at. Now, these are the most affordable, well, a lot more affordable to acquire, And of course, with the likes of a Prince Dream Desert Eagle, I'm pretty sure a lot of people do want something like that. Yes. So Prince Dream does look ever so nice in Counter-Strike 2. That's something we have discussed a fair bit before. But again, that's for you to research. CS2 Stash, all right? Over here, over here, this website is called CSGO Database. And over here, this website is called CS2 Case Tracker. So if you want to go learn a lot more in regards to the Counter-Strike economy, if you aren't fully well aware of it, I've just basically gone through the likes of cases and given you a good option right there and then, all right? And then, of course, if you want to go through the process and looking at the Snakebite case, well, this is currently selling for 29 cents each. We look over to here. It hasn't really gone in, this hasn't really done insane numbers. It did go up very nicely earlier this year. What with the CS2 beta? CS2 beta was early this year around March, April time. There was a ton of hype, all right? So many skins, stickers and whatnot went up to insane prices. The hype died down. We had the major kind of killed off all the momentum it had. So, yeah, awkward. But it's very stable right now. So it's a perfectly fine option to consider putting some money away. And again, buy a bunch, forget about them, leave them for a year or two. And when you notice that they've started to trend upwards ever so nicely in the future, sell then if you so wish, if you need the money. Or if you need to get yourself a brand new Valve Index, there's the expected wireless Valve Index coming out fairly soon. We don't know if it's real, but it's strongly hinted to be real. So, that might be a good thing to pick up, because not everybody around in the world can pick them up, can they? Ooh. Right, so this is looking good. Again, we have CS2 Stash. I can go through, look at all the weapons and whatnot inside it. More specifically, I can see the gloves. Now, just to also confirm in regards to the Snakebite case, you might notice these gloves can be found in free cases. If you were to do a little bit more research and take a look right here, yes, so we have 2 common cases that can open these gloves, and then we have Operation Broken Fang, which is how much at the moment? $5 as well. So that's $5, but these 2 are fairly easy to acquire. So in good time, could the likes of the various amount of glove skins over here increase? Well, it's going to take some time, but eventually it will go up in price. Again, this is going to be the second best option in regards to cases, but gradually over time, this is also expected to rise up in price ever so nice, eventually, all right, eventually. So when you're selling ridiculous amounts of rust skins, and let's just refresh because this is likely changed to the newer batch, yep, you probably don't worry. You probably won't worry too much, all right? Because you're going to be selling so many things. Yeah, it's going to be fairly ridiculous. Why is the Forest Raiders helmet currently selling for $35? Let's go find out. Well, just a bit shy, but yeah, it's ramping up, guys. It's all kicking off. So that was Counter-Strike. It's up to you if you want to go ahead and buy a few thousand each. But that is definitely my recommendation in terms of one of the safer options in regards to putting money away, leaving it be, and when you want to go receive some money, you can just go grab some of these cases and sell them on the Steam market. Treat it like a bond. I have a certain amount of wealth that needs to be kept up. I'll put it into these cases. I'll put them away. I'll store them away. And in a year's time, I'll cash out, and you know what? There's a fairly decent chance that I might sell them for a profit each as well, which is even greater, all right? So we'll see how that all unravels. What other things, then, could we do aside from cases and skins and knives and gloves and whatnot? Well, there's one more thing that I could suggest to you, but this is going to be something you're going to have to be patient with as well, but potentially not as much. I'm not sure how many of you play Team Fortress 2, but right now, they have a sale going on for their paint. What on earth are you on about, Hedge? So if I just go to type and then go down to tool, search, and if I can just get this to work for me, if you go by price, go most expensive and then start scrolling down, you'll start to notice these 4 paints. And they are called, when we get them, where are we? Come on, don't be shy, show yourself, please. The 4 paints I want to suggest to you, they are called, when we get to them, when they appear, when they appear. All right, so they're not on page 3. Are they going to be appearing on page 4? So basically, let's get this across. There are 4 very notable paints that every single Christmas time, they go on offer half in price. They are Lack of Way, an abundance of tinge, bitter taste of lime and defeat, and the pink one, which I can't remember the name of. Why am I mentioning these? Because, as I said, every single year they go on sale around Christmas time, but during the following year they gradually rise up in price. This is a routine thing that happens every single year. Do you see how they go down and then up and then down and then up and then down and then up and then down and then up? Do you see how that happens basically every single year? Well, the fact that it goes back up again is a very interesting little detail. I wonder why we care about that. Because we could put our money away in these things. Does that make sense to you? So these are also an option. Now, I'm not sure when the sale ends. I think it's January 7, January 7. So you've got a decent amount of time. Plus, these are going to be available for a cheaper price when the Forcewipe has happened. So it's an option. But if you just go, look at the state of these during the year, you might notice they don't go up in price that much. But they do, and I repeat, they do sell for a higher price eventually. So you will get your money back, basically. But you're going to have to wait at least maybe half a year or so. But they do go back up. And it's expected that they go up in price in about 6 months' time, because that's when the summer update comes out. And that's now, quote unquote, a holiday tier update from now on. So we get a whole bunch of maps and whatnot, taunts and effects, and we also get the likes of new cosmetics. And with new cosmetics, people are going to want to put paint on them. That's not too hard to comprehend, I'm sure. So we have green, white, black, and pink. Now, some of them perform better than others. You're going to have to look at their sales history, make some comparisons, get a good idea of what you want to do. But these 4 paints, they are fairly cheap right now, and they might have massively fat quantities right here. I don't know why people have done... Oh, I do. Recently, with the Argentinian problem with the currencies, I guess some people probably jumped in and bought some for super cheap. Well, give it some time, they will eventually disappear. If you're not fully confident in these paints, by all means, you can leave it. You don't have to jump in and buy any. You could put down a fairly decent buy. It's up to you. But these are some things that you could go ahead and buy. Now, if you're not super confident, but you kind of do desperately need to spend some money, by all means, maybe just go buy 100 of each of them. 100 each would be about, like $300 each almost? But even then, if you just wait it out a fairly decent amount of time, as time goes on throughout the rest of 2024, they will sell for a higher price. You will eventually be able to sell them and get your money back, if that makes sense to you. So that is an option. All right. Sorry if I was a fair bit slow to get all of this out, but yeah, that's the TF2 Steam market. Okay. There is one more thing, and it is Rust. Yes, we can talk about certain Rust skins that are looking to be perfectly fine, quote-unquote, bonds. So here we go. We have the likes of this Legacy Kevlar Kilt. This is very, very nice. And in its current position, especially the likes of Legacy Kevlar Tier 3 selling for a much better price at the moment, this doesn't look like it's going to match up to the sales that these two have had. Now, these have been very special. Number one, that's a very pay-to-win face mask right there with no facial mesh. So by default, loads of people are going to want it because they think they can deceive people from a distance. I'm just wearing a beanie hat. No, psych, I'm wearing a face mask. Anyway, currently we only have these 3 pieces. Now, the skin creator himself has confirmed that he does intend to make more pieces. So, hoodie and pants on Monday. Tomorrow, or today. Yeah, today. To make the... Oh, God, fuck me. It's 3:30 in the morning. Oh. How long have I been rambling for? Over an hour. Jeez. All right, well, what a great way to start the year. Isn't it wonderful, children? Oh, God. But anyway. We are expecting another core piece, hoodie and pants. Guys, if that gets accepted, for sure, 100%, that's going to spike in demand, spike in price. But you kind of don't really want to sell them immediately. It's awkward, isn't it? Because you want to put some money away into these skins whilst they're available, because over the course of, throughout the next year, or this current year, 2024, I'm not used to it. I'm not used to 2024. I'm very sorry. But you will want to consider buying this, because as time goes on, and if we do get more core pieces, and I have basically talked so much in regards to how easily this blends in with the likes of Blackout skins and whatnot, this is definitely a perfectly fine thing to consider buying. Now, just don't go ridiculous, but even then, I don't think we can get anywhere close to the amount of sales that the Tier 3 did, especially based on the fact that these were actually in 2 Rust stores. Yes, they persisted into the first Christmas Rust store. Why did that happen? We still have no answer as to why. It was very weird, but it happened. 56 bare minimum sales, and 56,000 bare minimum sales to be precise, sorry, and then almost 66,000 bare minimum sales. This, at its current rate, is probably going to do between 35 to 40,000 sales. A lot less considering with what these two got. And if we do get hoodie and pants, immediately this will have a very nice spike in demand and whatnot. We shall see, but it's a matter of if. Will we 100% get the likes of those legacy Kevlar hoodie and pants being accepted? And if we do, oh my god, you will probably want to go and sell your Blackout hoodie and pants whilst you still can. Because with how dark legacy Kevlar is, it might even surpass the complete lack of way that we have with the Blackout hoodie and pants. And both of these right now cost $45. Whereas if we got legacy Kevlar hoodie and pants, that'll probably sell for $2.50 each as well. Oh, that might be a bit of a problem. Hey, now that I just brought that up to you, people who own Blackout skins, start making some decisions now, maybe. So, cool. We got that nice and established. And with how much we talked about the likes of the Bombshell, the Brutalist Sheep Door skin, this is trending upwards, and it's likely going to keep rising up in price with the hype behind it, especially with the TikTok videos being made about it. If this keeps getting more and more expensive, I can't help but think a lot of people are going to look at the likes of this Bombshell Sheep Door and consider it as a perfectly fine, much more affordable option. With the transparency it has, it's still very, very good. Yes, the Brutalist Sheep Door edges it out by a little bit, but this is still a perfectly fine option. Perfectly fine. A lot of people said, Hedge, I intend to have both of them, because if I'm in like the foresty area, I could just use that as my main door. That's up to you if you want to do that. I'm not sure if everybody's going to agree on that, but hey, I know a lot of people do still want to get this, but with the amount of sales this has currently got, it is looking a bit dismal in terms of the sales. Like, I'm so surprised this isn't selling more. And especially when you compare it to the other Bombshell doors. So if we just make a very nice comparison, Garage door of transparency, 20,000 sales. Bombshell armor double door of transparency, 18,500 bare minimum sales. Bombshell armor door is a very unfortunate case of something went awry with the likes of the Steam summer sale, which basically broke some listings on the Steam market. So all of this skins buy orders support kind of just instantly disappeared. And then not too long after, we did see the likes of the Brutalist Armored Door, and then this died a horrible death. It's not completely dead. Post-Christmas could help it out a fair bit, but let's not dawdle. That one's a bit of a unique case. Then we got the likes of the Bombshell Sheep Double Door. Didn't sell that much. Now it's already doubled in price and going even higher. So with the likes of this, will this emulate this and become like this? What do you reckon? In the current position that we're in, yes, I do think this is going to emulate this, or reasonably so. At least it will go up in price. Yes. So therefore, a perfectly fine thing to consider putting some money away into and treat like a bond. Oh yes, indeed. Now, here's the thing. Who knows? We might see transparent sheet metal doors become a normal thing in the future. We might see some Twitch drops being given to us. Who knows? But don't rule out the possibility. Do not rule out the possibility, okay? Just pointing that out to you. All good? Understood? So there's definitely some options that you can put your money into if you want to try your best to make sure that you technically still have that wealth. Did I sell another one? I think I did. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, over the course of, an hour, I sold 3. You might sit there and say, oh, Hedge, is that it? Well, I had a lot of skins. If I listed a whole lot more, I would have made a whole lot more sales. Overall, in the grand scheme of things, I haven't badly affected the price of this, have I? I sold a reasonable amount. I listed a few more. Still managed to keep selling some. So yeah, that is the ideal way to, list your skins. If you have a ridiculous amount, I don't care. I do too. Sorry, but yeah. It's up to you how you go about it. But if you sell a ridiculous amount, you're only gonna if you list far too much too quickly, you're only gonna badly affect your own sales, your own potential profits and whatnot. So overall, yeah, that's it. That was a very long talk. But what a great way to start off January, 2024 as a whole. But yeah, how you go about this is definitely up to you. But with the advice I've shown off to you, I hope you got a bit more sense of clarity in understanding that, yes, you might have a lot of skins. It doesn't matter, as you're slowly going through all of them, listing them in those small batches. Once you're done, you can go back to the first ones you've listed, or just go ahead and take a look at the listings, the market history you have, and you might have realised, oh damn, I've already sold some. So then you could go back to those skins again and list some more. You don't have to constantly monitor it, you don't have to constantly look at it, but it's definitely an option I would showcase to you just to make sure that you do sell these for a very reasonable price and you don't kill the momentum that these skins have. What a quality ramble that was, and it only took an hour and 15 minutes. What wonderful, wonderful ramblings these were. Blabbering, rambling, and it's only just the start. Oh, it's only going to get so much worse from here on now. Rust skin enjoyers. If only you could see me right now. So, yeah, it's late. I'm going to need to stop now. As I said, I hope you had a wonderful New Year's, and I very likely will return to streaming today. Yes. I don't know, fairly reasonable amount of hours later from now, because I, of course, need to sleep. But, yeah, I kind of do want to put an effort in on my YouTube streams and my Twitch streams, and I'm even considering hopping into TikTok to stream as well. That might have to be independent from Twitch and YouTube, but I've got to kind of put a little bit of effort out there to help people out if they've got issues or problems in regards to rust skins. Oh, yes. So, yeah, I've pointed out some options in regards to where you could potentially use your rust profits to, I don't know, well, maybe quote-unquote cash out or put away as a bond. But overall, the more you understand all of these things, the more comfortable you feel about the likes of how things usually play out every single year. And I'm sure many of you are well aware of the routine. So I actually have this Blackout Kilt to kind of showcase to you what we should expect in regards to 2024. So come on, Blackout Kilt, show yourself. Where art thou? Why am I showing off the kilt? Because it's a very good representation. If we just go see how this performed during the likes of 2023, you'll totally understand what to expect. So, over the course of the past year, we started off 2023 on a high note. Prices reached an all-time high. Times were very good to sell Ruskins, but gradually, eventually, it does start to cool off, and at some point around springtime, whether it's March or April time, we will see a new low point. But after that is when we start to trend upwards for the likes of the summer. Plenty of people will be playing in the summer or whatnot. Kids and whatnot, I'm sure you're well aware. They're at school, they're at college, they're going to be playing Rust instead of going outside. So yeah, prices will return to reaching another high point, but gradually that cools off again, and we will enter the autumn-fall seasonal dip. Loads of people not playing Rust, and that's what we just recently dealt with. Prices reached very low, very, very low prices, but eventually, at some point, most skins will reach their lowest point, and from then on, all they do is just rise and rise and rise, and eventually they will peak at some point next year in January time. So that's what we're expecting now. But you see how it all played out. We had a high, we had a low, we had a high, we had a low, and we ended the year with a high. That is the expectation for 2024, and basically every single year from here on now, it just keeps happening over and over and over again. This is the Rust routine. Alright, so now that you are aware of the absolute basics of expectation, you would probably know that you might want to sell around here so you can just buy everything back around here. Alright, all good, understood? Blimey, how long did I go on for? An hour and 20 minutes. Alright, that's fine. So, I will probably be doing more update videos in regards to post-Christmas and whatnot. I certainly plan to do one at some point over the course of this weekend, as I said. Between the likes of the 4th and the 7th, we're going to have some very interesting details to keep track of. But yeah. Hopefully, that is where we really do see the ramping up of player counts, demand, and skin prices. So what do you reckon? Do you believe January 2024 will surpass 100,000 average players? What are your bets, people? Place them right now. Feel free to comment below. And will we potentially beat 176,000 for what January had for 2023? Will we beat last year's one? Peak player count. Cool. All right. So, yeah. Enjoy yourself. And for all the people who are watching at this current time, yeah, don't forget, got a very interesting Rust store potentially in a few days' time for January Forcewipe. What might they be? Well, I'm actually gathering the newest Rust Workshop skin checks list. Abyss, boots and gloves. I think we might like some of those. What do you think? Well, with the current state of Abyss, do you know what? That's certainly lining up to be a very interesting little expectation right there. It's basically all in the positive except these two. But hey, boots and gloves will definitely cause all of these to spike in demand, spike in price. And what a time for it to happen when loads of people return to play the game. They notice there's some Abyss skins in the Rust store. They'll probably think, you know what, these boots and gloves look cool. I'm going to go ahead and buy the rest of the set. And wouldn't you know it, potentially on the horizon, Abyss collection could go even higher. Who knows? But I pointed it out, so cool. Cool. Thank you very much for watching or, well, listening to this entire video. I hope you've learned something from this. If you haven't, struggle, I guess, suffer. Skill issue. Sorry. But yeah, I feel like there's some reasonable ramblings that have taken place there. And I really do hope everybody actually took into consideration to look at the description and see the chapters. I wonder how many people are going to moan at me saying, this video's too long, I just wanted you to get to a specific point. It's not like I didn't have chapters. Oh well. Right then, catch you later. See you, goodbye.